Early one morning, the engines are getting steamed up in the shed. James was having trouble getting started. "Some of your tubes are blocked, James," said his driver. "We don't have time to clean them. We're shunting today." James scoffed at the thought of shunting. Gordon cut in. "James, shunting? Oh dear, how far you've fallen. Big engines like me and Henry don't shunt. Isn't that right, Henry?" "Of course not," said Henry, though he was still drowsy and wasn't paying attention to the conversation. "It's undignified for big engines like us," continued Gordon. "But for small engines like you, well, you're right at home shunting." "I most certainly am not," retorted James. "Shunting is disgusting. However, I will prove to the Fat Controller that I am reliable and will do whatever needs to be done, even if I'm ill." Before James could say anything else, Gordon huffed away. Thomas looked over to James. "You are a very reliable engine, James," he whispered reassuringly. "Now go show Gordon what really reliable engines can do." James smiled at that and left to shunt at the big station. When he brought the coaches to the platform, he found Gordon filling up with water. "You see, little James, big engines like me have to take on a lot of water to make sure we have enough steam to get us across the island. Unlike you, we can't stop at stations and fill up when we please. We have to wait until we get to the end of the line." James pulled up beside the coaches, waiting for Gordon to finish getting water. "And another thing," Gordon continued, "we must—" "Oh, shut it already and get to your train!" Gordon huffed and went grumpily to his coaches. He was soon off with the express, and James went to the yard to shunt some trucks. Later, James was taking on water when the station master walked up to him. "Gordon is stranded and needs someone to take him the rest of the way. Do you think you can help him?" "But I have to shunt here," replied James. Just then, Thomas, who had heard everything, puffed into the station. "I can shunt for you, James. Now go and show Gordon what you can do." James smiled to Thomas and puffed away to find Gordon. He found him halfway down the main line without steam. "Having trouble, Gordon?" "My tender is leaking," said Gordon shamefully. "Well then," said James, "I guess I'll have to push you along." And so he did. His clogged tubes made starting the train difficult. "I must do it! I must do it! I must do it!" he panted. With a lot of effort, James got Gordon the express coaches moving. He pushed the express all the way to the end of the line and then pushed it back home. When they arrived back at the station that evening, they found the Fat Controller waiting for them. "Gordon," he began, "you shall go to be mended tomorrow. I'm very proud of you, James. You are a very useful and very reliable engine. After you get your tubes cleaned out, would you like to pull the express while Gordon is away?" "Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir," he beamed. "Well done, James," Thomas whistled. James had never felt prouder. James can still be boastful from time to time, but ever since that day, he doesn't look down on Thomas as just being a tank engine, and he doesn't let Gordon's words get to him, as he knows that no matter what he says, he will always be James, the really reliable engine.